If you're a real estate agent, you're already in real estate, or you're a house flipper and you've been flipping properties for a long time, and now you've seen the light and you realize, hey, I want to get in this mobile home business. I realize there's a huge demand. I realize the competition is low. I realize there's a huge opportunity to make really good money at this, and you're deciding to go ahead and do it. What would make you decide to join a franchise versus just doing it yourself? I think if you're like me, you're kind of one of those kind of do it yourself kind of people, right? I mean, if you're a real estate professional and you've had success, you've learned that you had to be independent, right? Most people who are looking for security, they go and get the safe W-2 job. If you're a real estate agent or you're a house flipper, you know it's all on you, right? So you're an independent kind of person by mentality, and that's just your character. And you've had success. I'm guilty of this too. For many years, I was a lone wolf. And the problem with that is I had success, right? I was very successful. In fact, I started this whole company as a lone wolf. And what I realized is, as a lone wolf, you don't have to deal with bureaucracy. There's no red tape. There's no boss. You just do your thing, make money, and it's great. But there was a problem. And the problem is there's a ceiling. You can only do so much by yourself. And as a franchisee, you get access to something that most solo people don't ever get. I'll get to that in a second. But if you're a solo person and you go at this yourself, firstly, there's a limit to how much you can do by yourself. So I found that, and you'll see for yourself, you might do a dozen of these, you might do 20 of these in a year and think you're doing really well, but you'll be exhausted by the end of that year. And then guess what? Next year you have to do it all over again. So one of the things I found is there was power in building a team. And we did that at our company, and I learned how to do that properly. And that took a lot of trial and error. So that's one of the shortcuts that we provide our franchisees, is understanding on how to build a proper team, a structure from day one, so it's not all on you, so that you can produce more volume. In fact, that's like the big one, I would say, out of the gate. If you want to just do this as a side hustle, or to kind of just, do a dozen of these years, you're probably fine just doing this solo, right? But if you're looking to build a business and not just have a job, and you want to do volume, join the franchise. The franchise has systems, it has procedures, it has best practices, and it's set up to do dozens and dozens and dozens of these per year instead of 1 dozen per year. So more volume, more of a business. And let me get to that point. That's kind of the big point I'd want to get to. But if you're a house flipper and you've been flipping homes for many years, or an agent and you've been a broker for many years, 10, 20 years from now, when it's time to hang up your license and retire, what do you have to show for your work? Can you sell your business? Absolutely not, right? It was just a job that you had. When you join a franchise, our mission is for you to build a real business that you can sell, so that you're not just making money while you're operating the business, but you're building a business that has systems in place, that has a team in place, and has a well-known brand and a support system in the franchise that you can say to the next agent who wants to take your shoes, hey, here's an established business I have. It has a team, it has systems, it has an established brand, and it comes with a client database, right? Other industries, if you're an insurance agent or you're a financial advisor, some of those type of businesses can sell their business because it's a residual income. We can't really do that in real estate, even though we have a book of clients who know us, like us, maybe they've worked with us multiple times. But when it's time for us to check out of the business, most real estate professionals, or house flippers especially, you can't sell your business. So when you're in that fork in the road deciding, should I do this solo or should I join the franchise? Think, do I want to build a business that I can sell in addition to the money I'm making? Or do I just want to make, money and have a job for the next 10, 20 years with no boss? That's a big one I would get to. And then of course, when you're doing a job, you get burnout and it's all dependent on you. And if anything happens to you, what happens to the business? Completely stops. So our mission at the franchise is to build a team and a system around you that can operate without your daily involvement. And so that gives you the ability to step away from your business, and the money still comes in and the jobs are still getting done. Now, you still need to be involved. You're the person overseeing it. You're the operator. But You have salespeople, you have admin, you have project managers, you have independent contractors. The show goes on without you. Now, some of you might already be pretty savvy solopreneurs who already kind of know this. Maybe you have a team in place and you just want to plug and play what you're doing. Another benefit that we can bring to the table as a franchise is the 2 decades of mistakes and successes that we've had to shortcut your learning curve. To be honest, it was not as profitable in the beginning flipping these properties as it was later. We had to learn which properties to buy, which properties not to buy, which properties we should list as a broker, which properties we should not, how to play the game savvy with building relationships with these community managers. All those things you learn on day one from a franchise. So you shortcut your learning curve. I've seen a lot of people who were very savvy, maybe even like you, who came in the business and then left the business because they just couldn't get past the learning curve. And boy, did they miss the gold. They were digging and they never hit the gold mine. So our mission is to help you hit the gold mine quickly because we know where it's at and we know how to get to it. Next thing I would say is we have customized tools for this space, meaning we have a customized CRM designated for the mobile home industry. Nobody does that. You can't go on to just Salesforce or these other CRMs and get a CRM customized for the mobile home industry. We've done that. It was very painful, but we worked very hard to customize and create a tailored CRM. And when I say CRM, it's not just a place for phone numbers and emails. It's a place where we have automations in place to keep in constant contact. Our websites are built in. We have forms that are tracking people's activities, keeping up to date with our customers so that we stay top of mind. So it's a very comprehensive system that we built over a very long period of time. So there's lots of little value like that. We also, of course, have scripts that we've already made, standard operating procedures to avoid costly mistakes that come up if you're not on top of things. I remember when we first started flipping mobile homes, we literally were making 1/3 of how much we were making later when we learned how to flip homes and be more profitable. And that happens with everybody. I've seen other people who started and they were very proud that they made $6,000 or $7,000 on a mobile home flip. And we kind of scratched our head and said, yeah, we remember those days. So if you're kind of leaning towards being the independent person, hey, we'll see you out there and we wish you all the success in the world. If you're interested in joining our franchise, the next step is reach out to us. We have a free personal assessment you can fill out online. It basically gives you an opportunity to assess your score to see, do you qualify to buy a franchise? And then if you are, we can give you the application, you can begin the process, and we can get you fast tracked to being the founding father in your local area. Thanks for checking out this video. I'll see you on the next one.